Okay, guys, ready to get started? Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I think I is two. So what I've been meaning to do, and I keep forgetting to do it, is put some type of inspirational quote at the end of the lessons. So this is something that really applies to backhand, not necessarily inspirational, but kind of a reminder, right? So this is Beyond Foundation, lesson 4 on the 26th of February. And we're talking about the attacking game plan today, right? The ATP. So what's an AGP? It's when we're attacking our opponent's blots and attempt to close them out. And a couple of quotes here from Backgammon Galore, which just came back online. It was down for some reason for a while,
Hmm.
and thank goodness it came back. An attacking game plan is an all-out attack on enemy blots in your home board aimed at closing out your opponent. So Walter Trice in Backgammon Boot Camp says the taxes are fast, very aggressive, risky, and opportunistic. Are you guys getting a feedback type thing? Are you hearing me twice, an echo?
No.
No, okay.
If you're hearing that, everybody can mute their thing and it might help you.
Okay. No, I think I thought it was coming from me doing it. Because I look at the slide, I look at the um, what's going on an iPad while I'm doing all this on the Dell, and so I'm trying to make sure I see what you guys see, but there's also a little bit of an echo from the um, iPad because you're not allowed, you can't close up the volume completely.
I can hear it a little bit, but it's not interfering. It's clear.
Okay,
Same.
so this is the result of a successful attack. And you've closed out your opponent. In this case, they have two in the bar, and your gammon winning chances are good. So the goal, close them out, right? Oh. So from this previous one, what material do we need to make this closed board? Right, 12 checkers, right? And this gives us a hint about one of the most important factors when choosing to play an attacking game plan, right? The number of checkers in the zone. But we don't have to go this far because there are two ways to win a backgammon game. Number one is bear your checkers off before your opponent. What's the other one?
Double the cube and no take.
Right. Double and drop. Okay. Can we play an attacking game plan on the opening roll?
You
No,
can.
because there's no blots to
There's no blots.
So the first time we can play an attacking game plan is on a reply to the opening roll. And not on the first roll, but when we reply to it. So that means, well, so what happens when we look at AGP after their point making numbers? I should be able to switch directly to Extreme Gammon. Good, you guys are seeing that. Good, 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 good. And if they made their 3 point, can we play an attacking game point? Attacking game plan?
No.
No, ain't no blots to shoot at, right? They make their 4-point. Can we play an attacking game plan?
Nothing to attack.
Nothing to attack. Make the 3-point, same thing. If they play a 6-4 by making their deuce point, same thing, right? And if they make their 7-point, their bar point, there's nothing to attack. What about if they play a 6-5?
No.
So they start with a 6-5 and they run.
Cannot.
Can we play an attacking game plan from here?
Yes.
We roll
Yes.
double fives.
Yeah, because there's something right, double fives, and because this guy right here, there's a blot, right? So let's give ourselves double fives. Well, let's do this. Let's put the number in. What do you think the best way is to play it? Or one way we know is going to be an attacking game plan, right? What's the best way to play it?
Eight to 3, 6 to 1.
Right, twice with 8, right? Making 2 points. So attacking. Attacking means going from your outer board to your inner board with a couple of checkers, or even one checker sometimes, and the other half is checkers from your inner board to your inner board.
Yep.
So that's an attacking game plan. So look at the difference between the best play of attacking versus partially attacking versus not attacking much at all. It's a really big difference. That's a blunder to not make this play right here. Right. So you've done it against a single blot. You're attacking. How strong is it against a single blot? Let's say they fan, and now it's our turn. And from here we roll. Can we keep this right here? Let's see. Put one on the bar because I roll a 6-5, 6-5. There we go. 1, not 2. Run it out to here. We roll double fives. We made the 3-point and the 1-point. They dance. And now can we cube them? Are we strong enough to double them?
No,
Why not?
because you should have at least 9 checkers in the zone.
Right, you need more checkers in the zone, right, to be able to complete the closeout or threaten the closeout. Right? And you hopefully will have more checkers to work with too. You can do it against one checker, but even better to have more. So XG says you're about a 60-40 favorite. About 27% of the time, more than a quarter of the time, you're going to win a gammon. So this is already pretty strong, especially when the match score really makes gammons important. So already very strong. The old style of playing that double fives was to leave the blot here and just play
You're down.
like this right? Yeah, just make that right there. Oh, you have to go here. 1, 2, 3.
There's one off the board. Oh, now
Yeah.
there's 2.
Okay, that's why I couldn't get there. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. There we go. They play 13 to 5 with 2. Because in the older days, it was the stronger players playing weaker players. They were the ones writing the books. They would prefer to play a priming game, a more pure game, than attacking like this, because they had a better chance to beat the weaker players, which just about everybody else. Okay? So they make this type of play. But we know now that making the attacking with four checkers make 2 points is much. Okay. What if there's a second blot? Can we play in a, so we did the attacking game against when they ran. Okay. But what if they ran only out to here with a 6-4? 2, 3. Can we play an attacking game here? Yes, we can. And we saw from the 6-5 play that it's probably best to make 2 interboard points. Let's give ourselves a 6-4 and see what happens. So if we attack right here, oh, I'm sorry, I'm doing the wrong thing. We want cancel this guy. We want double 5s for us. Okay, they've ran with a 6-4. We want double 5s for us. And how should we play it? So we saw from the 6-5 when they ran to the midpoint that it was, even with just one blot, it was good to attack that blot, okay, and make a 3-point board. Do you think it might be even better now that we have another blot over here?
Yes.
Yes, right? Because if they dance, what happens when we double them? Well, XG's got to catch up because I put in the wrong numbers. So we're going to look at this one. We're going to look at 6-3 running, which is the same thing as 5-4 running, and 6-2 running. And we'll see how that changes things a bit. Wow. Did not take this long before. Okay. So even here, especially here, you see the difference now doing the attacking play? It's an even bigger difference, a bigger blunder not to do that. That looks like this right here. Okay. So even the second best play, which is that's a big blunder, this sort of thing. And the old-fashioned play is even as a double whopper. So if they ran with 6-3, and we roll double 5s, right? It's an even bigger difference. We're winning. We'll see this way. If we do this play right here, we're winning over half the time, but we're getting about a quarter gammons also. And now we've got this other blot to work on. And same thing similarly with the 6-2. Wow, this is how it was before. It came up with the answer just like that. I don't know why the other one was taking a little bit longer. Okay, so all these cases, and especially here where that blot is even easier to hit, right? Compared to if they run the 6-4, we only have 2s. So now we have, here we have 4s plus double 2s plus 3-1 and 1-3. Versus if they were here, we have just the 2-1 additional. So with the 2 blots, it looks like, hey, we easily best to do the attacking game plan. And the difference is because of the gammons we win. Okay, so if we're going to try and draw a conclusion, we can attack one blot, but two or more blots makes a stronger attacking game plan. So do we even look at what happens? Can we double inside this right here? If we made this play, say they run to here with a 5-4 or a 6-3, and then we play double fives. And then they dance. Then do we have a cube?
You have one opponent checker in the off the
That
board.
one,
Yeah.
how is it? Okay, where's it? Where's it supposed to be? It's supposed to be here, not there, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look at this. Double take already. They ran. We rolled double fives and attacked. They dance, which can happen with 9 different numbers, right? Double ones, double threes, double sixes, a combination of ones and threes, and threes and sixes, and ones and sixes. That comes up to 9 different numbers. So a quarter of the time they're going to dance. And a quarter of the time they dance, you can double. And they'll have a take, right? Okay, so one more time, we can attack with one blot. We can attack one blot, but 2 or more blots makes a stronger attacking game plan. So this kind of gives us a hint about the 6 splits, right? So if they open up with let's go back to the opening position right here. And they start with a 6 and a split. And so 6 to split and maybe a 2 here. Then we roll double fives. How strong is the position, or is our position now if they double? I mean, if they dance, how big is our position now if they dance?
Strong.
Really strong, right? There's not only a blot over here on their side of the board, their outer board. There's also this guy right here, and in hitting it, we brought another checker into the zone. So this would be okay. No, I didn't forget that. Double pass, right? So only 66% of the time do you win. So you win 2/3 of the time, you lose 1/3 of the time. But look at how huge the gammons are. Okay. So this is typical of the 6 splits: 6-2, 6-3, 6-4. Okay. So does the number of our interboard points make a difference? Make the number of them. So let's start with a 5-4 this time. I would give them a 5-4 that they split. Control J. Remember, we have to remember Control J. That'll start from the beginning. Okay, let's say they start with the 5-4 and they split. Now we roll a 3-1. What should we do? Should take actually half a,
Get on the 5.
right? Make that point. Now we have a 1-point board. let's say they dance. And it's our turn. Can we double them now?
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't. Why not?
You don't have enough uh down in the zone.
Zone, okay. So they've danced, we're on roll, and we put one checker of theirs on the bar. They have another checker back here. So easily no double take with one additional interboard point. So we can do more like this. We look at the one making one additional point in our interboard. But we'll find that when we compare to the two additional points, so a 3-point board or a 4-point board, the more points you have in your interboard, the stronger your attacking game plan. Okay? In fact, Roberti says that in his book 501 Essential Backgammon Problems, he says that in general, well, actually, he doesn't say in general. He just says, I can probably read it, can't I? He says that doubling with just a 2-point board is unusual. 3-point boards often yield strong doubles, but clear takes. And 4-point boards are the sign of a likely pass. Okay, this is what he says. Okay? So in the attacking game plan, it's not the quality of the points, rather it's the quantity. In terms of the attacking game plan, the two positions are equal. They both have 3-point boards. And in terms of the attacking game plan, the one on the left actually might be better. Why might the one on the left be better? Because all these other checkers, especially the ones in the midpoint, don't have to travel so far to be able to get to these 3 points, 3 open points. Right? They've got to travel a little further. The three open points on the 1, 2, and 3 point, as opposed to having some on the 5 and the 4 points. Okay? So, in terms of the attacking game plan, the one on the left can be better. So kind of remember that, right? But when it comes to a priming game plan, the second position is stronger. So you have to remember this when we start talking about priming game plans. The one on the right is called, I call a two-way position, because you have the potential to either attack. If it doesn't go so well, you have the potential to make a prime. So priming or attacking. And these types of positions are especially potent. Hey, checkers in the zone. What does that mean? How many checkers are in the zone here? So tell me which ones are in the zone, guys. I'm going to mark them up. Are these 2 checkers in the zone?
Yes.
Yes. I don't know how to mark them up. Okay. What about these 2 right here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys here.
The 6. Yep.
8 and 9.
8 and 9. Anybody else? Why aren't these guys in the
7.
zone?
They're too far out.
Yeah, they're not bearing directly on an open point. Right? These guys, the most they can do is bear upon the 5 point, which is already made. So they're not in the zone for the definitions of what it means to be in the zone. The only ones in the zone, hey, this thing's been,
Can you put this
Okay.
up there?
this might, oh, there it is. Okay. It took a little while to appear, that's all. Okay. So those guys right there, they're in the zone, right? Those are the only ones. So we have how many in the zone now? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
9.
7, 9, right?
I do it.
Is that right?
You want it
Yes.
louder?
That's
Yeah.
9, okay? 9 in the zone. Okay. Okay, so let's say we start with a 4-3 or 3-2 down, followed by them splitting. Let's see, we want control J, right? That starts us fresh. And if we start with 2 down, with a 4-3, and then they split with a 5-4. Now we have more checkers in the zone, right? And we can attack. And if we do attack, let's see, let's give us a 5-3 maybe. Let's do that. When we make this point right here, and then they fan, what do you think? Can we double this thing now? We couldn't, I mean, we compared to the other position we looked at, we didn't have this extra spare out here. But now we got one extra spare. Is that enough to turn it into a double?
No.
No. Well, guess what? It isn't the double, right? Just this one extra checker now in the outfield. Similarly, if we look at 3-2, the same situation where they split, we attack them and they dance. We have a strong double. So more checkers in the zone give us a better attacking game plan. So there's the 8, 9, or 10 rule. And you see it right here. And this is in general. This is not a hard and fast rule. But in general, 8 checkers in the zone mean that you don't have a double. You don't have enough checkers there. 9 checkers in the zone, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 now, right? 10 checkers in the zone. Well, 8, if we had just 9 checkers in the zone, it's here, then we can think about it, right? We have enough checkers zone to think about whether it's a double or not. And in this case, we don't, right? We know that we don't have quite enough yet. But if we have 10 checkers in the zone, we definitely have enough. Definitely have enough to press on to the attack. And 11 even more so, and 12, etc. Right? Because you need 12 checkers to close them out, or at least to threaten to close them out. Right? So 8, 9, 10 rule, it's like a stoplight. 8 checkers is red. Usually don't do it. 9 checkers, yellow, you might consider it. And 10 checkers is green. Go ahead and do it. Go for it. And lots of cases, it depends on a lot of other things like position, but that's one general rule that makes it easy for you.
And you're assuming that there's a checker on the bar here.
Yes. Yeah. We could possibly set up other positions where, let's put them here maybe. Okay. And is this enough right here to give us a double?
No.
maybe not.
Yeah, we haven't talked about extra checkers in the bar, extra checkers to shoot at yet, but extra checkers can give us the possibility. But here you're just still a bare favorite. Okay. Okay. So number of checkers on the bar. So let's say they do a 5-2 split. Then we roll double 5s to attack. And they dance. Where's the other guy? Where'd he go? 1, 2, 3, one more here. And from here, if they dance and you double, do we have a double first of all? What do you think?
8 in the zone,
8 in the zone, so it's saying, hey, we don't have enough. But
2
now
in the
we have
bar.
2 in the bar, right? We looked at positions where we had 1 on the bar before, right? Like after a 6-5 run or something, but now we have 2, and we also with the splits and also with the runs with 6-4 and 6-3 and 6-2 and
I
all.
feel like it could be a double.
Okay, could be a double,
Double and a take, right?
maybe a double and pass.
That a double and a pass already?
Look at the gammons there. Okay, so hold on to that thought, Sydney, that you feel, they have a feeling it could be a double. Okay. So let's say they've entered 1 checker. Now can we double them?
No.
Da, 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 da. So still, notable, we're a favorite, right? But we don't have enough to double them. So this is one example of the number of checkers on the bar makes a difference in the strength of your attacking game plan.
Is that because the second checker gives you time to bring down additional checkers to attack with?
Right, while while they are struggling to bring their checkers in, right? It gives us more time. Okay. And it increases the gammons also. So we might be able to double sooner. Okay. So we might not have to even bring checkers down. Okay. So conclusion of all this, the more of our opponent's checkers or blots that we have on the bar, the stronger the attacking game plan. Now, the other side of it is what if O has a strong position? Okay, we've considered the strength of our inner board, but what about the strength of their position? Okay. So if they have some extra points here made, and they've opened with a 5-2 splitting. Let's go like that, okay. But they eventually get all the other. You get these points also, right? If we attack them, which we should, right? Should attack both of these guys. And if they dance, can we double them? What do you
No,
think?
because you only have 8 checkers in the zone.
But we did before too, right? When they didn't have these points, their 4 and 5 point. Well, we could still double, right? But now they've got a stronger board. That's the difference here.
Which area?
I think.
You think? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Sorry.
Okay.
Oh,
So we went from a situation where they didn't have these 2 points right here, which was a double, to them being stronger. Now no double. In fact, they're the favorite here in terms of raw winning chances. So the favorite in terms of raw winning chances. In terms of equity, we win about half the time, but we get more gammons than they do. Right? Okay, so that was, let's see, we can go kind of back to that. Okay, so we just saw what happens when they have a stronger board. And this is a double pass when they don't have that stronger board. Okay, so having the 6, 5, and 4 points made is called the rack. And that was a term that Roberti at one time defined. So sometime after he wrote 501 Central Backgammon Problems. I don't think it's in that book. Okay. And the rack can be pretty powerful, both for yourself when you have it and when your opponent has it. So it's strong for both of you guys. And there are positions where you don't think it's a double on your part, but you have the rack that are really strong doubles.
So do people say you have a nice rack?
They
Sorry.
dumb. And knowing Roberti, he didn't coin that term in that sense because he doesn't even think about that sort of thing, really, right? So, okay. And no, the answer to that question is no, nobody's ever said that to me. Okay. So the stronger O's board, the weaker our attacking game plan. And Control J to go back to neutral position. And let's say they play down with 2 checkers. Can we now play an attacking game plan?
Yes.
Okay. But they have an anchor here. Right? It can kind of be kind of like an attacking game plan, but not a true attacking game plan because there's no blots or no way to close them out here. Okay, by definition. But
So is an attacking game plan only when you can attack them in the zone?
basically, yes.
Okay.
And you'd have to basically stop playing the attacking game plan once they make an anchor, because it's not a viable game plan anymore once they make an anchor.
If we make 2 points, it's more towards a prime. No?
Right. So they could, right. If they have an advanced anchor, it's impossible, near impossible to play an attacking game plan. But I say in general because there's very few absolutes in backgammon, and you want to sometimes play a quasi-attacking game plan, even if they have an anchor, because that's your best way to win the game, right? You might attack checkers behind their anchor, and it's not truly an attacking game plan because you can't close them out, but it's your strongest option. Okay, so anytime they play 2 down, maybe the 3-2 or 4-3 or 5-4 or 5-2, all those numbers, you can't truly play an attacking game plan until something shakes up over here. Okay, until they expose the blot. Can we attack against a split on the opening roll? So splits like, let's see.
How about when we put 2 on the bar but leave 1 blot?
One of the blar, but they bring one of them in, you're saying?
Well, maybe they have they've gone 1-3 or 1-4, and then you roll a 4-1, like a 1-4. You can put 2 up but leave a blot. Yeah.
Okay, and you're saying what? What are what's happening to these checkers right here?
No, what he's saying is those checkers rolled, let's say they rolled a 2 and a 4 or something, and you roll a 1 and you hit both of them with your 6.
There's 1 checker, yeah. No.
1 6 checker. So you hit both and leave a blot.
Right.
Okay, so give me the sequence or something. So I can understand.
Okay.
So they open with if they open a 4-2, they're gonna make the 4 point. Right? So what roll would make them vulnerable?
Let's see.
Let's just say they rolled a 5-2. So they split the the number 1 to the 3. And then the 12, that 13 to there. So
Yeah.
then now you rolled a 3, 2. So you
3,
hit
2, yeah.
theirs and you leave a blot on 1.
Oh, I see. Okay. This is going to be is that really the best way to play the 3-2 here?
Yes.
Attacking twice.
That's what we're asking. That's what we're asking.
Okay. No, good. Okay, because this is not. I didn't think I would get to anything like this today.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
Trying to. This
All
is
right.
fine. That's okay. I was just trying to cover every situation when it comes to having more inner-board points in your opponent,
Yeah.
having more checkers in the zone. Um, looking at the number of blots that they have on the bar, the number of other blots that they have that you could attack, right? Let's say they bring something out to here. How does that change things, right?
Right.
So those are the situation I was looking at.
Yeah.
I didn't think we had time to do this, but in general, let's say they split. We
Yeah.
will not use a 3-2 to hit twice in general.
Oh, okay.
The only time we'll do that is maybe they split with a 4-1 or a 5-1, right? They bring one checker down and split with a 1. We'll use a 4-1 to hit twice.
Mhm.
Because once we hit on the 2-point, that checker's not really good for us for helping us to make a prime. So you might as well keep it going and hit
Right.
the checker. Okay. So that's normally the situation. And any other split, like let's say the checkers, they split with a 5-4 and their checkers are on the 1-point, they're 24-point, they're 20-point. Okay. Then we will not use the 1-4 to hit twice. Because one hitting here is where we want that checker to be. We don't want
Right.
it back here on the back side.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
actually thinks that hitting is close, or double hitting is close with a 3-1. And it thinks it's really close to this and to this right here, and even to this play. Right? So it's saying you should at least hit 1 is what it thinks is best. All these plays right here hit at least 1 check, except for this guy, right? Which is just building structure.
Right.
So if we do a rollout, the difference will be different, be greater than just minus 0.010. Because a checker on the 3-point, if you hit it, your checker there is a little more useful than a checker on the 2-point or the 1-point. Okay. Let's see. So we didn't cover the ace splits yet, right? So if they open with a 5-1 splitting, can we attack this guy also? We could, right? If we roll a 3-1 or 6-1, we're just going to do the natural play of making a point. Let's say we roll double 4s. Should we be playing positionally or should we be attacking? What should we do here?
We can hit on 1, on 2.
In this card here.
Yep.
Should we do that? Should we just bring 2 checkers to make the 20-point and 2 checkers to make the 9-point?
No, it's also.
Yeah, what do you-
If you're playing an attacking game, aren't you wanting to attack and close them out? So you would hit on the 2 and then bring 2 down to the 9?
Or if you're playing an attacking game, you'd make both the 2-point and the 4-point.
4-point, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Remember, that's better than
Right.
we look at this position with double 5s and hitting, right? So should we? Oh, actually thinks this is better right here. Okay, but it thinks that the best play is not hitting at all.
Okay.
Okay.
So bringing the 1 to the 24 to the 20 point, yeah.
But if you're going to play an attacking game plan, which is pretty close, right? And
Mhm.
again, it's going to be the tournament match score that kind of dictates whether you're going to give up some winning chances with this play right here, but have more gammons.
Yeah,
Um,
or go for just a winning point.
right, so they're both good. So the top two plays are pure attack and building positionally. And the next ones that are errors, right? That 20 points is important because they cannot play an attacking game plan or priming game plan against us anymore. And this one right here, right? But they're both errors.
Oh,
And the blunders start with this right here. Mhm.
oh,
Or
so
maybe just running. Blunders.
running them out. That's a blunder.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we looked at the 4-1 split already, right? Essentially. No, we didn't. I didn't show any numbers, though, did we? Okay. So we even 4-1 split. And then we roll. Let's go back and look at the numbers for this one. We roll a 4-1 ourselves. Oops, not that one there. Okay. What's going to happen? We discussed it. We said we should be hitting twice, right?
Mhm.
But are there other plays that we should be considering here?
Bring the 13 down to 9.
Okay, 13 out of 9. And we talked about that on Tuesday, that's what it's a play, right?
Mhm.
We try and list the things that make a beginner. It's that they tend to play too safe sometimes. And by playing a checker from the 13 to the 8 right here,
That's
they
safe, right?
haven't, it's safe, right? But they haven't added any point making numbers on their side of the board.
Yeah.
Whereas if we do bring it from 13 to 9, then we added a number of point making numbers. We
Yeah.
expose it to an attack of a bit, right? So XG thinks that hitting twice, for the reasons we said before, if you hit on the 2 point, it's not such a great point for you to make, so you might as well keep it going to the ace point and take all the tempo out of them. And it thinks the second best plays are not hitting at all, or hitting and splitting,
Mhm.
bringing 2 up. It's called up. Play both checkers from the back. And it even thinks that this one's an error, but not quite a blunder, right? Playing the beginner play right here. Because of the chances that they're going to hit you if you're on something like the 9 point or the 10 point. If you played it like, let's see, this guy right here, I play like that. The danger is they're going to hit you on that 9 point. Okay. So it's not a huge difference between the two. About 0.02 difference. Okay. And same thing with the 2-1 split. So what should we do here? Should we consider attacking somehow? Let's say we roll double fours. That'll reach, right? Should we attack them here? Or should we play positionally? We saw some of the other strong plays, right? Making the 5 point anchor and making the 9 point. So give yourself more structure on your side of the board and a lot more ways to safely use the 9 point to make points with, right? Instead of having a blot there. We saw also the double hit, or the pure attacking play, right? Bring 2 checkers here. But actually says, hey, your best play here is not even to touch this checker, right? Don't go with the attacking game plan here. You get so much structure this way. And it says if you are going to attack, which is slightly worse, then go all out. Make 2 more interval points.
Mhm.
And again, same sort of ranking as the other one when they rolled a 4-1. And we looked at our double 4 plays. Making this anchor is pretty good. In fact, it's not too much worse than not going for the full out attack. So from what we've seen, oh, the replies to the opening rolls, how important are each of the following features or attributes of the position? Number of inner board points, number of checkers in the zone, number of blots to attack. So usually they might have blots in their outer board. Number of checkers of theirs that we have up on the bar. The strength of their position. Have they made the 5 point? Have they made the 5 and the 4 point? And have they made the 5, 4, and 3 point, which is called the barrel? And what's the relative pip count? So we already talked about the first one, number of interval points. In Roberti's 501 book, he says that in general, he doesn't say, well, okay, he doesn't say in general, he just says 2 points means no double. 3 points means double take. 4 points means double pass. But that's in general, right? We didn't talk a lot about racing pip count, to the relative pip count. But why is that important? Because if you're going to continue with the attack, then when we're attacking, our taking checkers, if we leave blots, might be hit. And if we are to continue the attack, then we need more checkers to continue the attack. And the further we are ahead in the race, the more checkers that will be close to home. Okay. So from what we've seen from these replies, how important are each of these guys right here? Well, we could try and develop a feel for it, which you will when you play backgammon. But you can also try to enumerate them or give them a value. Okay. And for example, here is Roberti says 2, no double. But look at this right here. You only have a 2-point board. There's only one check up on the bar. And yet this is a double pass. Right here, you're way up in the race, and you're going to be able to continue an attack against them. They're not going to have much chance to improve their position, which means that you're going to have a good chance to gammon it. So this is an example that Roberti has, which in that same chapter on what they call the blitz, that is counter to his a counterexample to his 2 no double statement. Well, if we try and assign points to it, someone did that. Jeremy Sherr took a stab at it, and he assigned points to each of the attributes. I'm going to play a well, maybe we can play directly from here. Let's try that. This is from a much longer video. When he's being interviewed by Daniel Rivera in Backgammon is Beautiful. And a normal playback speed, good.
So now I'm going to show you the basis of the system. And please, guys, don't get, freaked out by a lot to remember. I promise you it's easy. So this is a point system. And basically, we're going to accumulate points for our position where, and then we're going to see how many points we get. If we're going to get 19.8, it's going to be a set. If we're going to get 19.5, it will be on the cusp, and 23 and above will be a pass. I'm not sure about too good, but let's leave that for now. Okay, now how do we accumulate points in this situation? So it's by counting various variables and adding them together that we get the points. And don't worry, there'll be plenty of examples. So first one is builders in the zone, and we give 1 point for each checker in the zone. When I say in the zone, it should be 6 pips from an open point, so otherwise it's not really in the zone. But basically 1 point for every check in the zone. Home points, or, as we like to call them, points, but it's just kind of points in the home board and in the outfield as well, is according to the point where it is. If it's on the 5, it gets 5 points. If it's on the 4, it gets 4 points, 3 points, 2 points, etc. If we make the bar point, it gets 3.5, but if that costs us 8, it will be 2.5. And the outfield points, you get 2 points or 1 point. If there's anchor, if we have an anchor, we gain some points. You don't have to remember that. It will come with time. But what is important is if there's a check on the roof. So if he has a backman on the roof, it will be 3 points. A frontman 4 points, 2 backmen 8 points, and 2 frontmen 10 points. Don't worry, I'm going to show you that in practice. Just a second. A direct hit will give me 1 to 4 points, and an indirect will give me 0.5 points. That's all I'm going to show you right now to keep it nice and simple. And I am now.
Okay, so that's what the point counting system that Jeremy tried to come up with, or he came up with. He showed it to a number of strong players. They think it's about 90 to 95% ready. And, there's more things, you have to look at not only each of these characteristics, but how they work together. So we want to go back, right? And even made a slide for this. You start to get a feel for the strength of your position. Okay. But how do you get there? How do you get a feel for the strength of your position? Well, you play a lot, right? But you get there by starting by listing every attribute. Okay. And you don't overlook any one of those. Like I tend to do sometimes. You want to look at every one of those. So for example, you might see the strength of your frontal position, but you might forget about the strength of your opponent's position, which is important. You might count the number of checkers in the zone, or forget about the distribution of those checkers in the zone. You might forget about the additional blots they have in their outer board, which improve your attacking game plan. So look at every attribute or feature that we talked about before you make a decision. So, let's see. Okay, I see you guys now. Good. And you don't see yourselves either, though. Here. Oh, there you go. Okay. Okay, questions? No? Okay, let's take a whatever, like 4 minute, 5 minute break and put your hands up when you're done in case we're done earlier than 5 minutes, 4 minutes or 5 minutes. Okay.
I'm going to say goodbye now, Mike. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome, Jane. You got a lot of it, and the last part will be on the video to look at.
I'll watch the video. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye, Jane.
Bye, everybody.
Hey Ed, how's the parent visit going?
Um, we've had a delayed start. Their flight was canceled out of New York City yesterday. They couldn't get an air crew in for the plane, so they were rescheduled for this morning. They are they must be about 3 hours into their flight out of New York City right now. So we'll be meeting them this evening.
Oh, good. Okay. Oh, wow, that's an adventure.
But our house in Washington State has sold, and we have to sign the closing papers almost exactly at the same time that they're landing. So
Oh,
we've already texted them that we may not be able to meet them at the airport, and welcome to Hawaii, but get a cab.
oh, wow. Well, don't you do it DocuSign on the computer? Or they need
We
a
have
wet
to have
signature?
we have to have a notary, so it's
Oh,
all done online, um, and the
wow,
notary is only
congratulations.
available then.
That's so great. Congratulations. Wow, that was quick too, right?
Yeah, so we put it on the market on a Saturday. By Sunday, we had 4 offers, so it went really quickly.
That's fantastic. Welcome to Hawaii. Take a cab.
Yes.
I like that. Have they been here before?
Yeah.
Yes, they spent a month out here a couple of years ago. So
Oh, lovely.
we stayed with them for a couple of weeks and then just left them with the cars and the house, and they had the place for themselves for a couple of weeks while we were back on the mainland.
Oh, how nice.
So they're on the plane now, I guess?
Yes, they are. Their original flight yesterday morning out of New York City was canceled, so
Yeah, yeah.
they were rebooked for this morning. So they'll be out here for 2 weeks.
Oh, good.
So Kathy and I are planning to make it to Windward Passage this afternoon.
Oh, good. We'll have a smaller group today, but we'll have some fun.
Yeah, we will always.
Okay.
Sydney, are you coming to it?
I'm going to be a little late, but I'm going to come.
Okay, good.
And Mark Land, are you here?
I'm
Yes.
here.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna play with the masters, okay? I gotta share. We're gonna share the screen. We can go easily to the other things, and we just need to be right here. Okay. Can you see those two guys on the right-hand side? Let me make you smaller so I can see them too. On the right is Neil Kazaros. He's always on the since the 1980s, I guess. He's always been one of the giants of backgammon in the United States. He's won the ABT point race recently. Frank Frigo on the left is a two-time world champion. It's only a handful of them. So they're both excellent backgammon players. They're also both friends because the three of us studied together in San Diego. And they went on to bigger and better things. So Neil's in Chicago and Illinois now. Frank is back in San Diego from being on the East Coast, and I'm out here now. But they're playing a 15-point match. It's oh no, hold on. Let me find out where we're supposed to be. I thought I queued it to the right place. I didn't queue it to the right place. Oh boy, okay, we got to go back and find it actually. There's a lot to learn from this game right here. Not only the attacking game plan, but also some finer points of checker play. Okay. Here we go. Four is no. Frank needing 12 points, Neil needing 13 points. And they both still have a lot of time on their clocks. Oh,
Lost the board.
yeah, we lost the board. We can first go back to that position. And then I was trying to change the sharing conditions. Yeah, I was trying to wipe out the that black bar that I always see and sometimes gets recorded. Okay. You're back to the board, right?
Yep.
And this is again the 15-point match, and that's their match scores. So Frank is up top in blue, and Neil's down below in white. 5-3 opening, make 3-point. 4-1 splitting. How should he play his double fives? He immediately grabs 2 checkers off the 6-point to make the 1-point. And really, there's only one thing left to do with the other 2 fives. Neil dances, right, against that 1-point board. Well, it's against the 3-point board. Should Frank double now? Well, he's got a 3-point board. 1 checker's in his inner board, 1 checker's up on the bar. He does have 10 checkers in the zone, but they're not well distributed. He does have another lot to shoot at on his 16-point or Neil's 9-point. Should Frank, is that enough to give Frank a double?
I vote yes.
You vote yes. Okay. If we apply Woolsey's rule, and if we apply on top of that Sydney's rule, make our opponent as uncomfortable as possible, cause them the max amount of pain, then we double, right? Because if we use Woolsey's rule, we say, are we going to take this? If the answer is yes, I'm going to take this every time, it's probably not a double. If the answer to will I take this is no, I won't take it, then it's probably a double drop, unless it's too good and you want to plan for Gammon. If the answer to the question is, would I take this if I were white? If the answer is, I'm not sure, according to Kit Woolsey, you should double and let your opponent worry about it. So Frank's thinking about a double right now. What's Neil doing?
Sweating.
But he's
Thinking about the response.
right. He's thinking about the response, right? He's thinking about the response. He's not idly not thinking at all, right? I mean, see how quickly he grabs the cube?
He takes it.
He takes it right away, right? He was because he was thinking when Frank was thinking. If you're not so good at hiding your emotions, maybe you don't want to think about it right away. You want to wait till if your opponent doubles or doesn't double, then you think about it. Let's say they double, then you start thinking about it, because otherwise you might be telegraphing to them
Yeah.
that you're about ready to wet your pants and you're going to drop this thing. So, you know, some people don't do that. They don't think about that. If you want to think about it during when Frank's thinking about it, you're going to save time on your clock. Okay. 6-3. I should let you guys decide what to do. Okay. So 6-3, you're going to hit, right? You're playing an attacking game plan. How do you play a 3?
Bring down a builder.
Bring down another builder, right? I would have done that 2 months ago. Tried to put another builder down right away. But now I've learned the importance of having or attacking this other checker in Neil's outfield. Right? And so I've learned the strength of splitting now. In the past, I would have done this right away. You know, before 2 months ago, I would have dropped another one down, bring it into the zone to attack.
Yeah.
Neil dances again. 8-6. How do you play the ace after this? You split like that? You push one of the back checkers? How do you play an ace after you cover? Yeah, you guys have to tell me.
Well, if you split like he did, then you're creating more shots at the 2 remaining points.
Yes, you are. But it's scary. You're making more blots. Oh no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he's got 2 on the bar. You're not at too much risk.
Right.
And moving the 24 to the 23 doesn't help you much because the odds of hitting
Right.
the other checker are about the same.
Mm-hmm. Good.
double fours you could hit, but
Neil dances again. Frank rolls a 6-1. What do you do? We swear.
I would do 13 to 6 to bring more builders into the fight.
More builders. That's a good plan, right? The attacking game plan. This is a good plan. Bring more builders in. You don't say, well, last turn, had I moved this guy from the 24 to 3-point, I would be hitting right now with the 6-1. No. Just forget about what happened in the past. Right, just bring your checker in to continue the attack. Okay. What Frank did.
would
You'll down to the double 2. 5 will let you hit. And bring that checker closer to home to continue the attack. You'll dances with double 2s again. Oh. Okay. First real decision. How do you play a 3-2?
Make the 5-point.
Okay, is there another play?
Make the 4-point.
Okay. What's the strength of making the 4-point or making the 5-point? How could you
It's easier to make the 5 with your checkers on the 13.
Which is what so you're saying that if you make the 4-point instead, leave the 5-point open, the other checkers are closer to home to be able to make that 5-point, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the reason why you would consider making the 4-point. Why would you make the 5-point?
you don't leave a block.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, you don't pay off to double 5s.
Yep.
Oh, okay, not gonna hit. I'm sorry, not gonna look down all the way and hit it. But that's what Frank has to think about, right? Make the 4-point, which essentially brings all the other checkers closer, one space closer for all of them, versus making a 5-point. Both of them give you a 5-point board. But again, it doesn't matter which point you have in an attacking game plan. It matters the strength, how many you have, right? So for that reason of bringing all the other checkers closer to home, Frank makes the 4-point. You know, dances again. Well, 6-3. How do you play a 6-3?
The 15 all the way to the 6?
We do that, we have two checkers bearing in on the 5 point. Can we do better?
Doing the 13 to the 7.
13, 7, and I didn't hear the beginning.
Both of them.
Oh, both of us 13. So 13
Yeah.
to 10, 13 to 7. Okay. Well, that gives us 3 checkers to bear upon the 5 point.
That's a good idea.
So Neil rolled a miracle double 5s to hit a checker, but he's not a favorite if he does that. But at least he gains some tempo by coming in with all 3 checkers and then hitting on Frank's 10 point. Okay. Can we do it another way? And not pay off to the double 5s?
You could move the one on the 24 to the 18 just to get it moving.
We could. So the overriding consideration is, can we put them, what's the way to maximally put checkers in the zone? And the best we can do is bringing either 15 to the 9 point and 13 to 10. That gives us 3 or 2 down. Right?
Wait, isn't 15 to the 9 block? Or wait.
Okay. So both of those plays would be good, right? 15 to 9 and 13 to 10. 3 checkers in the zone. Or 2 down from the 13 point. The important thing is to bring 3 checkers into the zone, into bearing upon the 5 point. Frank brings 3 checkers into there and leaves the blot on the 13 point because it's closer to the 5 point than the 15 would be. Okay. And if you add all these little tiny indirects up to us, it give you more ways to hit on the 5 point.
Okay.
These further back, right?
Yep.
Now for 2. Can he improve the number of checkers he has in the zone? He now has 4 checkers in the zone, right? Or 4 checkers bearing upon the 5 point. And
Yeah.
now each picks up from the 10 point to the 6 point to get off the double 5s.
Mm.
Right? Maybe he should be pushing this guy right here, right? With the 4 instead. And see? Frank rolls 6-3 to make that point. Right? If you're prepared to make it, now you can make it.
Your buildings are all stacked up. Look.
Okay. So I'm going to turn up the volume so you can hear Neil. Not that he's whining. He's more of a realist and realist analyst for this position right here.
And the zone is normally a pass, but your buildings are all stacked up. Look. No.
Okay, you guys heard that? 10 in the zone is normally a pass, but Frank's checkers were his checkers were not well distributed. He had 4 checkers piled up on the 8 point.
You think?
I think I lean toward it.
Yeah, that's my opinion. I mean, I give the impression I snap the cue so fast I don't think, but I'm thinking.
No, I'm
thinking while you're thinking. People don't realize that.
I realize it. I know that wrong.
You know me, so from way back, I always did that. Get the clock, please.
Oh, sorry,
Your turn.
yeah, sorry.
Those are from the 1970s. That's when the 3 of us used to play in San Diego.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is one of those subtle things right here. How do you play a 6-1? We actually talked about this in the racing game plan. How do you play 6-1 from here?
Oh, sorry, your turn.
Yeah, sorry.
13-7-6-5.
Why?
Because you want to make sure if you roll a double six, you aren't going to leave a blot.
So we could place 7 to 1, 6 to 5. We get off the double sixes as a problem. Why is that inferior to what you just said, a 13 to 7, 6 to 5? Because you don't want to dump checkers deep into your board, right? You lose flexibility when they're stacked them on the ace point like that. If you have them on the 6 or 5 or 4 points, you've got more flexibility. More ways to stay. With flexibility means you can avoid danger. The choices, right? So yes, 13 to 7, 6 to 5, best play. We don't play 13 to 6 quickly because now you roll double sixes. You're gonna expose a block. Right?
Anywhere. Down here.
Neil's still mumbling. He says any diversification, he would, he would easily drop. He's Frank is even on the outside. Still dancing. Force play. We don't want to leave him a lot.
Even if your back checkers were split, I was passing. Yeah, even with an 8, you're not aiming at the blot, I'm still passing.
Okay. So he's saying that even if the back checkers were split, which means that he would have more ways to attack the blot that was on his 9 point. Right here. He said even then he'd drop. But he said the weaknesses of that position, even though there were 10 in the zone, were enough that he thought he should take.
Oh, so maybe I roll a 3. Somehow get
Mike, I have a question. Since we keep talking about the cube decision, so it's an obvious double, right? I mean, at least in retrospect, the question was whether to take or not. So why did Frank take so long thinking about offering the cube?
Because it wasn't an obvious double. Even though he had all those checkers in the zone,
Yeah.
had another checker to shoot at in Neil's outer board. There's one already in and one of Neil's checkers in and one on the bar. Even with the strength of that position, the diversification wasn't great at all. With really he had one checker on the 6 point, one builder, one extra checker on the 6 point, and he had 4 checkers on the 8 point. Not they were spread out. They're spread out on the outer board. That'd be better, right? His checkers were both on the 24 point, so they weren't. It made it harder to hit the checker in Neil's outer board. So all those.
But it sounds like from Neil's opinion, it was right on the border between a take and a drop. So this sounds like they disagree. Like in Neil's opinion, this was a clear double, and in Frank's opinion, he was saying he wasn't even sure if it was a double. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because normally 10 checkers in the zone and all the other things we talked about, that makes it a clear double.
Yeah, okay.
And that's the first thing that Neil says too. Normally 10 in the zone means clear, clear double,
okay.
Double drop. Right? But
right.
There were all these other weaknesses in the position that said, okay, Frank says I would lean towards taking also. Right? Because of so, but first, Frank, you regardless of whether it's an easy decision, you should spend time on it to think about it, right?
Okay.
You don't do what Mochi does. It's a clear decision, but spend a long time figuring it out. But what he may be doing is figuring out, well, if I roll this, I'm going to do this, or I do this, if I roll this, I'm going to do, and that's what Wilcox did when I played him in the early 1990s. He knew exactly after he doubled and the cube was taken, he knew exactly how he was going to play his checkers with every roll.
I see. Okay.
Okay.
This part is backgammon, this one. Do I want to dance with one? You better believe it. What I get for talking about. If I get them out, D2, I can D 2 points.
So with 6-4, he brings his two back checkers out, and Frank can't get off in one roll, and so Neil's going to concede a gammon. He corrects himself in a second.
4 points.
4 points, right? You're going to concede 4 points for gammon. Okay. So I've got to find you guys again. Okay. What do you think? Even these two guys right here, right? Two top players in the world. They compare what they see on the board to reference positions they have in their brain, using all the criteria we talked about, right? Number of interboard points made, which has got to be pretty important if that's what we're trying to do, right? When we looked at all the different criteria, let's go back to the slideshow. I would think that number of interboard points would be really important because you're trying to make your interboard points, right? Number of checkers in zone has got to be important too. Pretty important. Because you need those checkers to make your interboard points. And these other guys are a little bit less important. Number of checkers in the bar we saw from the examples that it's really important, having 0 up, 1 up, 2 up. And the strength of your opponent's board is also important. But of all these guys, I think the first two are the most important. Okay. So you have to develop your own feel or your own assigning numbers to say, I think, in this position right here, these guys are really important. And I think I have a double. I'm looking at all of these features right here. I don't think I missed any. But if I did, you guys will let me know, right? Okay. So how well did Neil and there it is. Okay. How well did they play according to XG? Okay, so this is the analysis right here. They both played at world championship level. Neither of them made a checker player in that game. Neither of them. Frank made the double the right time. Oh, you guys don't see this yet. I'm sorry.
Can't see the screen. Yeah.
Can't see it. Okay. To go to here. Escape. Share. I can do it from here also, right? I thought I pressed that. Okay. There you go. Okay. So this is the game that they just played. I put into XG. And you can see that neither of them made a checker play mistake, right? 0 errors. Frank doubled the right time, so he didn't miss a double. And they each played perfectly in this game right here. And Frank ended up winning a gammon. So the biggest question I had in this position right here, after he doubled, okay, let's look at the double again. So 10 in the zone, 1 checker in the inner board, 1 checker on the bar, another checker in Neil's outfield. That gives makes a stronger attacking game. And again, if these guys were all spread out, maybe you'd have a really strong attack. Like Neil says, even if one of these guys maybe was different here and they're diversified out here, where if these guys are split somehow, he would have probably dropped. He thought it was right on the border there, right? So XG says yes, double and take. It would be a whopper and a half not to double, right? 0.149 not to double with an error. And it says, hey, look, you win about a gammon about a third of the time. So you better be doubling this thing. Question I had was on this 6-3. How to play the 16? Well, the 6 is easy, right? You hit on the 2-point. You want to deny your opponent an anchor. But in the past, I would have played a 3 down. I would have played, let's see, 8 to 2, 13, 10. They're right there, right? Because it continues the attack. But it's also important to pick up the other checker here. So you don't bring another checker into the battle, but you're attacking a third checker, a third blot. And it thinks that the difference between the two is not huge, it says. But it is an error to do this right here. Okay. So that's the only one that I had a question on, which is right. And for that 3-2 play that Frank made, it's actually really close between the two. Whether they're going to make, here's the original position. If you make the 4-point, I actually think it's slightly better than making the 5-point. I mean, but it's like a toss-up. And if I did a roll-up, maybe they would switch places. But they are both really, the important thing is making another inboard point. Okay. I think that's basically it, right? Let's share the screen one more time. Skyrim one more time. Because I'm going to put this up on the screen. You can read it later when you play it again. Like we hinted at in the beginning, it's better to learn from your mistakes, because mistakes will point out when you think you know something and it turns out that something is wrong. Especially in my case where this is what I learned in backgammon 30, 40 years ago, but since the neural nets came out, it's wrong. I didn't have the time to keep up with backgammon. So when I came back after a dozen years, maybe about 11 years after the neural nets were on the scene, then I found out that some of the stuff that I thought was right was no longer right. I was still playing when Jellyfish came out, the first commercially available neural net, and so that helped a lot. But something like XG plays an even stronger game. I'm going to leave this. I'm going to just show it to you right here. And then you can read it later. Oh, except for the very last thing here. Warren Buffett says, it's good to learn from your mistakes, but it's better to learn from other people's mistakes. Right?
More profitable.
So he's talking about money, right?
He says never lose.
Right? So for our purposes, our backgammon purposes, maybe we should say it's good to learn from your mistakes. It's also good when learning to learn from other people's mistakes. That's why we look at other matches.
Yeah.
And we learn from their mistakes. Okay? Questions? Comments?
I have a question about the dice rolling. When I watched other tournaments, I thought they just rolled the dice with their hand, but here they were putting it in something, right?
Mm-hmm. So that's called a baffle box. And so when you first play backgammon, you use your hands, and then to help make it harder for people to cheat, you use the dice cup. Right? So that all tournaments, the minimum they'll use is the dice cup. Right? The rules are you put the 2 dice in the cup, you put your fingers on top of the opening, You shake it up and down vigorously. Then you take your fingers away from the opening and you release it at a discernible height above the surface of the board. You don't just sort of roll them out and slide them out, right? Because all different ways you can cheat that way, right? And then even better is to use something like a baffle box, because it makes it even harder when it has to drop through that for people to be able to manipulate it. Some of the earlier baffle box, they weren't as elaborate as what you guys saw during the video. And that meant that people could hold the dice together. Let me see this here. Yeah, you can hold the dice like this. And let's say you want double fives or double sixes or something, put those up on your hand, and then you roll them through the baffle box and they roll together. So the air kind of helps them stick together and they come out together. So in the earlier baffle boxes, they could do that because there weren't as many baffles, more straight, right? But since then, they've improved baffle boxes. And something that I like to do when I play live is put the dice in a cup, shake them up, throw them through the baffle box. So now it's really clear that you are not cheating. Right? Okay. So at most tournaments around the world, the United States, you're given the choice of using a baffle box or the cups. And the reason you might want to use the cups, it might be quicker. And in some cases, like in the finals of the last year's Monte Carlo tournament, one person used the baffle box, the other person used the cups. Because the cups, if he used the baffle box also, you'd have to reach across the board and drop it. So it's more convenient just to use the cups and throw on the right-hand side. Okay.
So with the baffle box, the dice always come out on only one side.
Only on one side, right?
Interesting.
Which is okay. And for that, and also for that reason, and well, mostly for the reason of having having clocks on this. That's why they adopted the rule of if the dice land on top of a checker and they're flat, then it's okay. Right? So we've adopted that here in Hawaii too, or within our Ollie group, that if they land on top of a checker and they're flat, that you don't have the checkers that are concave, right? Then it's okay. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Good.
Okay, anything else?
Well, I would add that it looks like when they use the baffle box, both players are using the same pair of dice. So if there are
Yes.
any crooked dice, that gets taken out of the equation.
Yeah. Or they both have the same crooked dice to play with it.
Right.
Right.
But when we were using the clocks, we were using the same set of dice too.
Right, which you should do. That's how they do it. When they both use the baffle box, they use one pair of dice. Right. How do you indicate that your turn is over and they can pick up the dice and make their move?
You just hit the clock.
Hit the clock, right? And that says your turn's over.
Right.
Okay. So that's what you guys need to practice with those clocks, because when you play live and in tournament, it really changes things. Right. You might forget to hit the clock.
Yeah.
Your opponent, takes their time figuring out what to do while your clock is running. Right. Okay.
Well, also, like I played that with Kathy for practice, and you forget to hit the clock and you pick up the dice. That's another thing.
Right. You got to get used to it. Leave the dice alone. Just hit the clock. Right. It takes a little while to get used to.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You guys gonna have fun today, right? This afternoon.
Yep. And have fun.
Yep.
All right.
See some of you guys later.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Bye-bye.